Hello, and welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft server with me, Zedaph. Hope you are doing very well today. Last episode, we added this extra little room, or it's not really a room, is it? It's more of a little nib on the side, on the inside of our crystal cave. And we also added some beautiful colouring around here. You might see things are a little more colourful, full of colour than they once were. Have I got food in here? I'm getting low on food. Okay, I need more food. We might have to murder some cows today. But yes, that is what we did last episode. But today, we are going to be heading through to go to the district that is incredibly gamey and full of bits and bobs, which there are now a lot of games here. A lot more than last time I visited, last time I built a game. So very, very cool. And if you don't remember, I was kind of the project leader on this. I kind of took it upon myself to get the place started and to try and kind of help organise everything, which I'm not going to lie, I've not done the best job of so far, but that is all going to change, because today I'm going to take the bull by the horns and hope that the bull knows how to build a gaming district, because I haven't got a clue. No, we're going to do some cool work over here today and hopefully get it looking better, working better, and being better as well, all rolled into one. But first, the new games that are here, I feel that we should maybe recap them in some kind of recap this season in the gaming district.
So it's going to be like a two-player co-op parkour boat challenge.
It is time to invent a new game.
Welcome to the Gaming District Recap. My name is Zedaph, and our writer is also named Zedaph. And today we're going to be taking a look at what games we currently have in the Gaming District. First up, we've got Joe Hill's Red Cow game, which technically isn't really a game, it's just about breeding cows, but I guess that can be quite fun too, so we'll let you off, Joe. Then we have Tango's 4-player crazy game, Chorus Chaos, which, believe you and me, from personal experience, I know is very chaotic. Hold your ground. No! Don't hold my ground! Next, we have my very own contribution to the gaming district so far. We have my game show, Is That Sheep Looking at Me?, which a little birdie tells me we may well be seeing another episode of very, very soon. Although not technically a game, next we have the Convex Duo's Aesthetical Circus Tent, which includes a tightrope walk and some other aesthetical friends. Izuma and Python have worked together to create the wonderful Boat Bros game, which I am yet to play, but I am very much looking forward to. Next is a little side project, Tango and I's Hot Swap Base. Not technically a game in itself, but it is the starting and finishing point for those on the server who want to have a go of the Hot Swap Challenge. Mumbo's game next, it's the amazing looking Slabyrinth. And last but no means least, we have Tango's Derp Dropper, which apparently kills you a little more often than it should. But that's all we've got time for in this recap. My name's been Zedaphplays, and again, our writer, still me, it hasn't changed. You know what? I'm no good at this. Okay, make sure you go and check out the professional recappers over at the Real Hermitcraft Recap. The link is down there in the description. It's awesome. It really is. But I now know exactly what is here, and so do you, which means we can begin to actually start organising this place and tidying it up a little bit. Because look, don't you look away from... Good. There is random chickens everywhere, and I'm not sure why, and they scare me, and they make me feel a little bit weird. So thwacky, they get thwacked, and also I'm hungry as well. I have 30 steak now. That's a little bit more than I did have, but I'm sure this meat will come in great handiness. These aren't named... Oh, you just pooped out an egg right in front of me. That deserves a death. Okay, brilliant. I could harvest some sheep that I might own, but I'm not going to, because they're part of a game show. Those chickens didn't look like they were part of a game show to me. But right, what's the plan to get this place tidied and organised? Well, first off, the big old central middle bit here, which everyone is confused about, the big green rings, they are purely markers for a big central building of some description. We've talked about it before. It's going to have the nether portal in, as it currently does. It's going to have beds in. It's going to have some like chests to, if you're like building a game near here and you want a little bit of storage, you can put some stuff in there. It's going to have flight entrances. So if you fly into this place, it will be a nice, easy place to land. And I don't know, it'll just be kind of like the centerpiece of the whole gaming district. Zero clue how I'm going to do that yet. I might have to get some other builder involved as well. So if you have a favorite builder on the server, do let them know that I'm looking for some kind of help and inspiration for the middle bit, and maybe we can team up together and they can do 99% of the work. No, I have got some ideas. Like I said, more just the functionality of it, and I'm hoping they could bring some of the sexiness to it. That's kind of my goal. But right, so my first task here is going to be pathing things up, and we're going to connect it to this big middle green ring thing. I don't even know why I kept the water in there, if I'm honest. But I'm going to use a slightly different style to this, I think. We're also going to be eventually getting rid of... Stop growling. Getting rid of all of the... What's this called? I was going to call it Podzol. What are you called? Let me read your name. Mycelium, of course, I forgot. But I'm not kind of just going to rip it all up and replace it with grass, or replace it with dirt, or replace it with poo or something. I'm going to just try and make it that we have so many buildings everywhere and paths and all sorts of craziness. The floor kind of ends up not even being a floor anyway. Like, I'll leave a little bit of this pathway for the entrance of the circus, and the circus has got a little bit of edging around the edge, funnily enough. Some games like this, the Boat Bros, you can see it kind of needs a little bit of tidying up around the edges and stuff, but I'm hoping that things are going to become nice and cozy. I was going to say, like, squished and compact, but cozy is a much nicer word. We want things to be close, very nice and close, with like a path going between there or something up in the sky, but in a more comfy, cozy way. If you've ever been to a carnival or a fair or a theme park or whatever you want to call them, some of them can often be quite nice and compact, and there's bits going over your head and bits going under your feet and up and over and down and zipping round and woo and whip. So that is kind of the aim I'm going for, which means floor doesn't exist. You're going to be going floor, except I'm going to put all you back, sorry, because I just made more of a mess than I should have done. But pathing, I think, is a very important part of this. We want to try and put paths down so that people who are building some more games in the future can kind of use those paths to build off of, like a big weird rooty tree thing. So that's what I'm going to do, and I think I've got a cool technique of how to plan a pathway stuff, but it means we're going to have to take a view from above. Can you see me? Can you see little me down here running about like a little ant? I'm just a little blue dot. The mycelium looked weird. It goes in like a weird squarey pattern from up here. I don't know why. Very strange. Anyway, right, so there's many ways you could path all this together. I want to kind of try and go a very spiderweb-like way, or more of a very natural way. I don't want a grid system. I don't want anything like that. My main goal is going to be to try and get the height very different. I don't want a very flat path. I want it to go up and down and left and right and all sorts. So that is going to be the major goal. I said stop growling! Some of the games over here is that sheep looking at me and Tango's Chorus Chaos. They're kind of far enough apart that we could probably tie them together and put some paths in between. I really do just want this place to grow and expand quite naturally. Over this side, way over here, the way I'm walking now, that's a lot more dense. I like that. The Boat Bros thing, it goes right around the back of the circus there. But even in the little gap in between where there's currently the white beacon, I would very much like there to be some stuff here. Some even if it's just decorative, look like a coconut stand or a coconut shy or whatever they're called. I'm doing some crazy parkour up here now, if you can still see me. Where am I? I can't see myself. It's blue on blue. It doesn't work. But that is kind of the plan. So I think I know a way of doing it. I'm not just going to build paths. I'm going to take it one mini step at a time. Here you go. I like to call it pathcrastinating because it kind of makes you feel like you're getting some work done when in reality you've just placed a couple of blocks here and there. But I think it definitely gives you a good idea of what the path could look like. Without actually having to build the whole path. Plus, I'm not entirely sure of the style I'm going for yet. I have picked out a few blocks that I kind of would like to build with that I haven't built with before. And that is the polished andesite. Got to be polished. The regular one looks poopy. Some lovely acacia wood. It's kind of got that greyness to it as well. Not bone blocks. Don't know why I grabbed those. These slabs, again, a nice kind of grey smoothness. And, of course, sea lanterns for lighting. It's all fairly kind of grey. I've seen these colours used before, but my main goal with this is I want the actual the events, not events, what are they called? The activities themselves, the games and the decorations and stuff. I want them to be the things that pop out. That was a weird sentence, but I want those to be the things that pop up. There we go. We got there eventually. Not the pathways. So I kind of want to make the paths actually fairly simplistic. I don't want to make them blue, for instance, because then that'll work well with Boat Bros, but then coming over to this thing, it won't work well. So I want to try and keep the paths quite nice and... Stop growling! Quite nice and, what's the word, like... neutral. That's the word I'm looking for. Very neutral color path. So a grey, a white, a grey, or a black would kind of work quite nicely for that. In this case, we're going slap bang in the middle grey because white would probably look a bit too modern and clean and futuristic, and black would just look evil, evilness and nasty. So no, we're not going to do either of those, but I'm going to need to go and get a bunch more acacia trees, by which I mean... using the wrong tool. By which I mean I'm going to have to grow some, and that is why we had the bone blocks and the lovely acacia saplings as well. So I've got 8 right now. I'm going to use all of this bone meal up and see how many more I can get. Place your bets now, people. And acacia trees have just made it to my top list, in the very top spot of trees to chop down, because wow, that is cool. We managed to get just over 2 stacks, and we've got 49 acacia saplings left after that stack of bone meal, basically. So that was pretty cool. That was a lot easier to chop down than I thought. They're quite nice and low. And look at this tree. It doesn't play by anybody's rules. It's a rebel. What kind of tree grows like this? Planted it there. Most of the tree isn't even above that anyway. What a crazy thing. It kind of reminds me of myself, so maybe that's why I've got a bit of a soft spot for it. And in fact, yeah, we're going to get even more blimmin' saplings and stuff from this, aren't we? So... oh, man. Acacias, you are very bountiful. Look at all the acacias. I thought we was going to be struggling and 8 saplings wasn't going to be enough to get us started. But no, we have far too many, more than we could ever count. The only downside to them is they don't really have that much wood per trunk. But you certainly get plenty of saplings back, so that's not really an issue. I forgot to mention last time, as I was pathcrastinating. I almost forgot what I'd called it then. And by the way, this one goes up and through here. This will have to be moved eventually. So far, I was very unhappy with how flat things were. But then we came to the boat bros. And I kind of tried to find the entrance to this. I was like, right, is there a door here? No. The entrance is up here. Up some stairs, which I've just popped in through this little doorway to here. So we're actually going to have a path come up and over next to this thing and go down and go to other places the other side. So very, very happy with this. Python, Azuma, awesome job at keeping things nice and varied heights. I love that they've got this big display thing right here. So we're going to have a pathway that walks across here so that we can see this in all of its glory. But we'll have maybe some low down stuff there as well. Who knows? I don't think they're going to be needing this space. So I'm going to try and plot out a bunch of places over the next few days of where people could build stuff. Because there could be a little game that fits down there. And then this path up here would kind of look elevated. It wouldn't look like it's on the floor. It would look elevated. So maybe that's the trick to unflattenizing some of these other bits as well. It would just be to basically make holes lower down, so maybe down here there will be a big open area with something else underneath, as well as making things up and over the top as well. I think I want to try and make a pathway. It's going to split off in this direction, and where's a good bit about there, maybe slightly further. Here it's going to bend a corner, and then this is where we're going to start going uphill, up and over the top of the Boat Bros game. I'm going to make sure I give them plenty of room, but I think that would look really cool to look down over the edge of like a bridge to seeing all that water underneath too. So that's kind of the thing I'm going to be getting on with now. Over here, this was another staircase design. I don't know why, I just like the idea of going up. And that leaves room here for other stuff then if we go up and over in this kind of direction. I just want to try and kind of make sure everywhere is accessible. Obviously, the end of the Boat Bros thing is going to be over here somewhere, so we kind of need a good way to get back. But why not have plenty of games and things like that on the way back? The monorail that I talked about a very, very long time ago, that probably, I want to wait until the park's a little bit more full up before I start beginning that. But so far, very happy with this kind of corner over here. The plans that I've got, I'm going to try and make it a little bit more special. Did we get any other saplings? No. Oh, okay. Thought we were going to get even more saplings. Never mind. Okay, maybe we will. Come on. We did! Yes! Yes, Akaki, I love you so much. It has grown a little squigglier, but that's perfectly acceptable. That's what we want, if anything. It's also quite high up around here as well. That could be an issue, but I guess once you're up on the path, then you are higher. So it's all good anyway. But I'm kind of thinking that there'll be lower down things, so you'd come down like the main path onto a mini path, and then there's kind of stuff over here to do. Hey, stop growling, please. And I've not really worked over there. I think it's too far away for now. I might put one path over there as like a rough guide, but we're not going to focus on that area too much. I've done this design as well. This is kind of what I think the path is going to look like. Let me know what your thoughts are. We've got lights every so often. It's the slabs and the andesite smooth stuff, and I thought maybe we could put the glass stuff in the middle like that. This is just kind of a rough idea of what the pathing could look like, but I've tried to kind of hook some stuff up. So let's take a little bit of a tour. So you come along this way, and you go around here and go to Mumbo's Labyrinth over there. Not so happy about this. Again, very, very flat. I like to kind of mix it up a bit. This way to the, what's this called again? Hot Swap Challenge. And then we come up here and round a little corner, little intersection junction way. Not entirely sure where that's going to go yet. We might need to rip this building down or move it or do something. Back down this way. Go back this way. We go down to the circus tent. And again, like I just said, we want things down here either sides as well. We really want this place to feel multi-leveled and have little nooks and crannies and all things like that. Hidden around. This way we've got the lovely Boat Bros pathway where we can see a nice amount of stuff, but again we could have stuff down under here that's kind of hidden away, out of the way. This way we'll just go up and over the Boat Bros thing, that way goes down, maybe round the corner there. I'm hoping, unless Python and Azuma are actually going to be kind of making a skin on the outside of this thing, I'm hoping they might not need to, because if other people build up against this, with other kind of buildings and stuff, then that will kind of, everything will just kind of get hidden by everything else. But this is quite a cool little path going over the little Boat Bros game, and that currently leads to nowhere. Great! That's going to happen quite a lot until things are built more. But already what I've done I'm quite happy with. It might be slightly above ground too much, but I think the more we build, the more better it will become. Down this way it connects up to the circle. That way it's also, every circle edge is going to be connected up to via some path of some description, and this one will go up this way through the gap, and this is where you start the Boat Bros minigame, and it'll carry on going this way, link up to some other craziness over here, who knows. But yeah, I kind of think that that's got a bit more of a meat and substance to the idea now. I'm going to just try and convert all of these paths to my design over there and kind of see what it looks like. Hopefully not too busy. Hopefully I've got enough andesite and slabbies. I usually throw my andesite away, but hopefully I've got enough saved up in dribs and drabs. But I think if you blink, we will see a beautiful transformation. 3, 2, 1, go! Interesting. Okay, well, I followed the rules that I kind of made over here, very loosely, very loose rules. We've stuck with something that the lights are going to be in the corners and at the intersections, and another intersection. They're also going to be one away from the bottom of the stairs and one away from the top of the stairs. This also happens to be a corner. Intersection, top of the stairs, intersection, none at the bottom of the stairs because they're too close. These two are already kind of close. But that's kind of my rough rules for roughly spacing out the lights. If there's a big long straight like this, you try and put it as slap bang in the middle as you possibly can. But I think that's mostly lit things up quite nicely. I'll have to wait till night time to see how evenly lit it is. That's always a good little tip. If you put your lighting down, it's probably a good idea to do it at night time, especially as we are in a mushroom biome, which means little mobs, or no mobs, not little, not like tiny little mobs, like I meant few mobs. We need to add some lights in like big long staircases like this, and obviously they will replace the what's it called again, andesite block, not the slabs in between. But I'm kind of liking it so far. The glass underneath, that is pretty much going everywhere, other than when the staircases get a little bit too high, such as this one over here. I don't think we should continue on. Maybe like 4 glass is like the maximum. After that, it just kind of stops, or we should do some other kind of bottom piece to that. I'm not sure. I've told you all episode to keep your shush shut. Ugh, it's never going to happen. But again, hopefully, I'm hoping that this is so full of stuff by the end of the gaming district's development, that's a hard thing to say, that you kind of can't see the undersides of stuff, or the unfinished walls of things. Everything else will kind of get in the way, and it'll feel nice and cozy and lovely. So we've kind of stuck to that rule. Again, the glass would be too high here, as well as it would interfere with the redstone and stuff. So I've just kind of made it go like a little tunnel way. I don't know, it kind of looks okay. The more you do it, the better it gets. And the other rules that I kind of need to work on a little bit as well is where we put the wood. I've tried just putting them on the main staircase bits, the bits where it changed heights, but for instance here, looks very, very weird without wood. We need some kind of wood probably in, like, here. Something like that, maybe, or maybe on a weird intersection we have it come out a block. I'm not sure yet. We would need to, like that, something. I'm not sure. How's that looking? Not terrible, but I'd quite like your opinion on what I should do with weird intersections like that. Same as this too. It kind of looks a little bit strange. Should we just block that up with wood like that? How does that look from above? Not the best. Not the best. It's a tricky one, but do let me know your thoughts on that. But for the most part, I think the wood is pretty cool. It's just when there's not very much wood around, like that corner over there. This definitely needs some. In fact, that could have some. No, it couldn't have some either because it's only 1.5 slab high. Weirdly, hey, I want that block. My rules at the moment only let me place logs on a stair up rather than on a flat piece of ground. You see what I mean? Like, this is flat ground. There's no logs on it. This is flat ground. There's no logs on it. The log is only where the one flat meets another flat, and it's kind of a slab in between. That's kind of the only rule. So, I don't know, but I think it's looking pretty cool so far. Not entirely sure I like the no handrails. It feels a little bit like, whoa, I fell. But I also think that's not too bad. And the more this place fills up, the cooler it will get. One other little thought I had is up here, over this big old bridge. I'm thinking, because it's such a big, thick, wide path now, what if we was to replace all of this middle bit with some glass so that we could still see down? Because I quite like the view down there, and I would not want to obstruct it. So I've got some light grey and some regular grey glass that we can try out. Which one would look better? That's the light grey, and that's the dark grey. What do we think? I think maybe the dark grey? The light grey... Actually, no, I think I like the light grey more. Yep, light grey win. Well done. You are successful. You are loser. You go. So I'm going to fill this in, and maybe this will be another mini rule. If there's any bridges that particularly go over something else, then we will put glass over it in this middle section, just to kind of try and help make things slightly more visible. But that is a lot of grey, and obviously, like we said, mycelium is eventually going to be a go-go, a goner, something like that. But for now, things are looking very, very grey everywhere, so we might have to start adding in some decorations already. Maybe we'll come up with some mock-ups of little clump of balloons. Would you call them a clump of balloons? No, you would not call them that, but I do. So maybe we can just start dotting some of those around just to kind of bring a little bit more colour and stuff into the district so that people don't get too worried and be like, oh, it's all grey and boring. This is meant to be a fun, happy place, and yet it's grey and dull. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with what I've done so far. It's a good start. It's a good start. It'll need some more work doing to it, and it'll grow over time as well. But that is all I have got time for this episode. I hope you enjoyed watching. Thank you very much, as always, for liking, commenting, subscribing. Whatever you did to help this video out, thank you so very much. And, of course, as always, a massive, massive thank you to my wonderful patrons whose names are on the screen right now, who help to make episodes like this possible. And also, they're just pretty cool people anyway, so why not put their names up and let them have a little bit of glory. But until next time, a bye!